evening, you're watching The Buck Stops Here and I'm Barkha Dad. On the program this evening, our special focus will be on criminals in politics. Why is it that parliamentarians who can't agree on anything else got together just yesterday to strike down a Supreme Court order that stops anyone who's in jail or police custody from contesting an election? The numbers of criminals in politics are staggering, and we'll be putting that question to our politicians tonight. Also coming up later on the program, at a time when most politicians that we know simply cling to power, the story from neighbouring Bhutan, the story of a royal family that actually gave up power to create among the world's youngest constitutional democracies, the Queen Mother of Bhutan, in a special interview.
His Majesty the 4th King, my husband, he felt that democracy, however flawed, is the best form of governance.
Let's get started with our special focus on the buck stops here this evening. Criminals in politics, everybody makes the right noises, but when it comes to the law, our parliamentarians are quick to block any attempt at a clean-up of the system. Just yesterday, the Rajya Sabha unanimously passed a bill. When else are they unanimous about anything? Well, they unanimously passed a bill that actually overturns a Supreme Court order that stops those in jail or police custody from contesting an election. Is this a case of a divided polity that has got united in self-interest? And how will our politics ever be cleaned up? Let's introduce our panel this evening. Joining us now is S.Y. Qureshi. He's, of course, the former Chief Election Commissioner of India. The Election Commission has been fighting a long but often hopeless battle to wield more authority with respect to debarring criminals from politics. We're also joined by Gopal Subramaniam, the former Solicitor General of India and a senior advocate with the Supreme Court. Joining us today is Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament, spokesperson of the Congress Party. We're also joined by D. Raja, National Secretary of the CPI. And also joining on the panel this evening is Jay Panda. He's a Member of Parliament with the Biju Janata Dal, but somebody, one of the rare voices, who's actually come out on record and said he disagrees with the kind of unity the political class has shown in striking down what the Supreme Court thought was better to clean up the system. Before I get our politicians into this debate, S.Y. Qureshi, may I start with you? How disappointed are you with the unanimity that the Rajya Sabha has shown? Because if you look at the figures that have been painstakingly drawn up by ADR, the Association for Democratic Reforms, they're actually staggering. 20 of our members of parliament face an attempt to murder charge. 14 MPs are facing actual murder charges. There are criminal charges against 161 MPs. Serious criminal charges against 74. And if you look at the assemblies, it's even more dire. There are serious criminal charges against 567 MLAs. S.Y. Qureshi, when you see the Rajya Sabha unite to actually turn down what the Supreme Court ordered in a watershed judgment, how cynical are you today?
Barkha, it's a very wide issue which we have been contesting for the last 20 years, that criminals should be debarred from contesting election. And our demand has been that even during trial, at least in the serious cases, heinous offences like rape, dacoity, murder and kidnapping, they should be debarred from contesting. We are always told that the law of the land is that you are innocent till proved guilty. One counter question which I have been asking is that in Indian jails today we have about 4 lakh prisoners, 2,68,000 of whom are under trial, that means not yet convicted, not therefore innocent, but they can't even vote. So if you can take away 4 of their fundamental rights, right to liberty, freedom of movement, freedom of occupation, right to dignity, 4 fundamental rights of people under trial, the right to contest is not even a fundamental right. Yes. So why not it should be held in abeyance? I don't know why the parliament and the government has been dragging its feet on it. But the recent judgments, actually there is a bit of a confused issue. There are 2 judgments. One is that on conviction, earlier the Representation of People Act said that even when you are convicted and you go in appeal, then you are not unseated. Yes. Immediately. Now that runs contrary to the Constitution. So the Constitution says that once you are convicted, not only you are unseated, you are disqualified from contesting another election. So that of course was contrary to the Constitution. The other issue of course the judgment is that even if in detention or even police custody, they cannot contest. That I think is a dangerous proposition, because that can be abused. Yes. As it is, election, while on one hand Election Commission is concerned that criminals should be kept out of politics, but at the same time Election Commission is equally concerned that the ruling party should not abuse its authority Because if I can't defeat you electorally, I hold you in police custody for a day on the day of nomination.
So from what I understand, there's a part of the judgment that you agree with, a part of the judgment that you found excessive. But very important point raised by S.Y. Qureshi, let me take this to Abhishek Singhvi, about the fundamental right to vote. The fact that someone in police custody, the fact that someone who's in under trial doesn't actually enjoy that right today. Abhishek Singhvi, my question is this. If our parliamentarians were so exercised about convicted MPs and MLAs being debarred from contesting elections, why didn't they exercise some more energy to actually give under trials or those in police custody the right to vote? Because after all, as Mr. Qureshi says, the right to vote is a fundamental right. The right to contest elections is not.
Barkha, I hope you'll give me my 2 minutes because we've gone way beyond all over the place in the topic. Sometimes you have to be narrow and precise. First of all, we are not discussing the general issue of criminalization of politics. I'm all with you. We have to do a lot of things to prevent it. And the simplest is to have a cutoff when court frames charges against you for specified serious crimes. And I am very sad that the political class has not got time to pass that law. But not passing a law and dragging your feet is one thing on which I agree that we are culpable collectively. It is quite a different thing to criticize what happened yesterday. Yesterday, the Rajya Sabha, my house, unanimously passed a 2-line or a 3-line amendment to the Representation of People's Act. That in turn overturned a 3-paragraph Supreme Court judgment. That is the only issue on which you are having the program. So let's not generalize. That judgment is called Jan Chaukidar's judgment. That simply holds by extrapolation, which I think is completely wrong, and I'm sorry I have to be technical, but without being precise, you can't understand this topic. Jan Chaukidar in the 3-paragraph judgment upheld a Patna High Court judgment,
yes,
which said that if you cannot vote because you are in custody, and remember custody has nothing to do with conviction, you can be under trial, you can be pre-conviction, you can be post-conviction, anybody who is in custody cannot vote. That is 62(5). That is created so that you don't have to transport large number of people behind bars who can insist that we want to go 2 kilometers away to vote. That's impracticable, and that's been on the statute book for a long time. The High Court, which the Supreme Court upheld, extrapolated that principle to say that merely because you can't vote because you are behind bars, you also cease to be an elector and therefore you can't contest.
But isn't that
now,
only
that
fair?
may or may not be
isn't
desirable.
That only
one
fair?
Second,
if as an under trial I lose
not
my right to vote, as a citizen I lose my right to vote, why should I have a right to contest?
Two things. Barkha, two things. Just a minute.
Yes.
A, there is no law, no provision, no comma, no full stop which says in the law, in the statute book, in the legislation that merely because you are behind bars you can't contest. Because people contest and win without campaigning for a single day. You don't have to go out like you have to go to vote. Second, very important, the judgment has not a single, it's a 3-paragraph judgment. 3 paragraphs. Now, what I am trying to say is that the Supreme Court ought to have either gone into it in great detail or indeed exhorted, and public opinion should have exhorted, that you make a fresh law that people behind bars can't contest. But my problem with the judgment, which is rightly overruled by yesterday's amendment, is that by implication, both the Patna High Court and Supreme Court are wrong to say by implication,
yes,
merely because you are behind custody and therefore you can't vote, it follows that you can't contest. That's the short point.
But
we are, remember, Barkha, we are not discussing Lily Thomas's judgment. That's the other issue.
No, we would like to discuss both.
And you
Abhishek Singhvi, we would like to discuss
both. One
both.
second. Barkha.
Yes.
Barkha, my comments are restricted to the first one because yesterday's amendment in the law dealt only with the Jan Chaukidar judgment, not with the Lily Thomas judgment.
Okay,
Lily Thomas judgment is something totally different. It is on section 8(4) as to whether once you are disqualified, once you are convicted, does the disqualification attach immediately or do you get a window to appeal or seek a stay? That's a different issue altogether.
But Abhishek Singhvi,
But
even on that we are seeing political murmurs.
Not to be castigated.
One minute. Even on that we have seen political opposition.
Legally erroneous judgment.
Okay, we'll come back to you on that.
Judgment.
Jay Panda, 2 different things have happened and Abhishek Singhvi rightly points them out. One is the Supreme Court saying that MPs or MLAs should not continue if convicted for 2 years or more. If the crime merits a 2-year or more prison sentence, that's one aspect. The other thing that has been overturned by the Rajya Sabha is that if you're in custody, you still cannot vote, but you can contest. I still maintain my question, Jay, and that question is, isn't the right to vote more fundamental than the right to contest?
Barkha, I think the bigger issue is that we in the political class are largely out of sync with the public mood, which is outraged at what they see as the lowering of public standards. There are two issues here, but let me address them very clearly. Now, when a person is convicted, when an average citizen is convicted, she or he is not allowed to contest elections. So it is abominable that somebody who is already elected, either MLA or MP, can continue if she can or he can appeal. That's just not acceptable. And I think we should deal with that first, because this is an exemption we have created for ourselves. And I have moved a private member's bill to do that. And Abhishek Singhvi is right that that issue was not taken up yesterday in Rajya Sabha. I'll come to the issue which was taken up. But the important issue is that we are out of sync with the public mood. We are out of sync with basic standards of ethics and governance, and we need to take that on and change it. The real problem is many of our politicians argue that appeals can take a very long time in the Indian system. And the answer to that is to have fast-track courts. And although we should have fast-track courts for every citizen, I think let us at least have fast-track courts to deal with criminal allegations against politicians. If VIPs, who I think these days can be better described as very indicted people or very implicated people, if they can have privileges such as not being frisked at airports, if they can have privileges such as having red beacon cars, then I think they should have the privilege of fast trial so that conviction can either be upheld or dismissed. But on the other issue,
yes.
I agree with Mr. Qureshi. I agree with Mr. Qureshi and also with Abhishek Singhvi that if you are simply in custody and you are not convicted, you can be in custody for a minor traffic violation or something like that, and that should not be held against you for contesting. But we need to tackle the core issues, and we are not doing it.